Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Kali Durga Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Kali Durga Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Kali Durga Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Kali Durga Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Kali Durga Namah Shivaya. Kali Durga Namah Shivaya. Kali Durga Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Greetings, Rainbow Warriors. Happy full moon to you. This is a full moon in Sagittarius, a report for June 9th, I think. Yes, June 9th, the full moon in Sagittarius. How are you? So it's been a month since our last time together, our last transmission together. Since then, I went on a journey to South America, and I went to Bolivia on retreat. And that is super sacred and super special to me, so I'm probably going to keep a lot of that, you know, just to myself. And I want to share with you a couple things about the astrology. I've written a comprehensive article with a lot focusing on the astrology of this time, and I want to offer that to you now. So please click the notes and read the article, and also I'll just share some things about my journey, my life, and whatever else that wants to come through this message. So let's start with the astrology. So the astrology of the times, there are choice points. This is like juicy stuff that I've been putting together, and it's just wonderful. This is what turns me on in consciousness. There are choice points that happen, and the last choice points, and they happen with the cycles of retrograde and the cycles of planets moving direct and then again backwards. And when planets move backwards in retrograde motion, we have time to integrate the lessons that happened when they were moving direct. Okay, c'est la vie. So, life is cycles upon cycles upon cycles upon cycles energetically. And we learn lessons through this. We're constantly cycling upward. So this is our evolution in consciousness. And there were choice points that started last November and choice points that happened again in February. And in November, the planet Neptune started to move direct again after being retrograde through last summer. And it is now going retrograde June 16th. And so we will be able to integrate all of the lessons from the choices that we made back in November, all of the shifts that happened. That's actually when I moved here to Boulder, which is a huge turning point for me. And it's like this grounding and integration and birth, reconglomeration of all of the pieces that kind of, the new parts of ourselves that came to us are now taking form and taking shape, and we're able to give birth to them in some way. So that's very exciting. So that's happening now. So that's from November to now. And then as this retrograde happens, we will integrate and piece by piece put together all of this until next November when it moves direct again. And then the way transformation happens is all of these pieces and parts, and we just continue to build on each other, and they build and build and build. So as I wanted to share in the beginning of the video, the personal revelations that I've had since my journey, my time in Bolivia, my time in transformation, and my time in silent retreat and just allowing myself to go inward and attune with the cosmos and listen. And also just like the struggles that I had was disidentification with the ego. So let me see if I can describe this to the best of my ability. Is we have this soul self, this higher being of consciousness, this higher way of being. And this higher way of being, we also have a mask that we use to interface with the world that we call the ego. But the ego is rooted in the separation consciousness. The ego perpetuates the duality that it separates, it withdraws. And it also sabotages the thought process of the higher self to allow you to think that you're separate and allow you to remove yourself from being in service to the whole. So, if we disidentify with the thoughts of the ego, we're not identified completely and consumed by those thoughts. Meaning like the thoughts that say, I want to be in power, I want to be of a higher stature, I want to win this, gain this, manifest this. We're narrow-mindedly looking at the world, our horizontal axis, and this is the real truth, and choosing out of what I see, I want that, I want this, I don't want this, I don't want that, and that is very stifling, very limiting. And there's this concept that I learned in my yoga teacher training long ago that was called concern for looking good. So, as opposed to a message of how can I serve and how can I be authentic and how can I be in harmony with this great, beautiful vibrational chorus that is being orchestrated through the universe. Like, please make me a channel of the light. Please make me in service of the highest good. Please, my angels, guides, and ancestors that I call in at this moment, be with me, pray with me, and allow me to commune with you in a way that is beautiful and true and real and guided and universally connected, so that I may be of service to you and to myself, and then feel that deep connection of worth and fullness that you're really looking for as your ego picks these little things like this will make me feel full, that'll make me feel full. But that's ego, and it's small, and it's smaller than, there's a superficiality to it. And there's a hunger and desire, and the desires really come from how we want to feel, and really we want to feel like we're in communion and connected, because just the incarnation of being an individual spark of God, we feel disconnected from. That's like the whole fall of man, is our identification with the ego and the separation from the oneness, right? And I have not yet manifested that feeling. Like it's been a while, I would say. Like, it's like I feel like I have to have tasted it to know that the oneness exists, because I'm infinite everything, right? I embody, like, this is like my journey, this is my truth, and I know that it's real. I hunger for it. Bhakti yoga is all about this. It's about like universal love and the cosmos, and being connected, and a relationship between lover and beloved is this making love to the divine, to God, and then feeling like but there's still duality, there's still two. It's the two in order to come into union, which is yoga, right? But we use these roles, these paths, as paths to God, to that union, to that oneness. And where I happen to be on my path, that I've learned from my journey and my humility of like seeing how my thoughts and my being like just attack myself with nonsense of what is truly important, which is not so much. I had a friend a long time ago, he says, when you think of what we really need, it doesn't come down to much. And it's true. What we deem as important in our everyday society is not really what our authentic soul's truth is. What our authentic soul's truth is, it's much simpler and very Buddhist and very Zen and very full of love and loving. So I hope that whole stream of consciousness makes sense and resonates with you. To get back to the aspect of disidentification, it's taking space and witnessing the thoughts and seeing what the vibrational truth is behind the thoughts and the desires that we are praying for. Because I know us rainbow warriors, we're all spiritual in consciousness, and we're like, we can pray from the ego or we can pray from the soul. And usually prayers from the soul just say, put me in the right place so that I can be good and, well, not so I can be good, but so I can be of service to the highest, right? Allow the highest to occur. Allow what happens for the good of all, for the good of the whole, for the community, and may it be done, and trust that it is taken care of. When we're in the ego and we're consumed with those thoughts, we're obsessed about wanting results and like trying to manipulate outcomes, and that's a very unhealthy place to be. But only from the witnessing it and the disidentification with the consummation of it energetically in our being and emotionally, which is huge. When we take space from it and can witness it and see it, then we get to make a change. And I feel like that's the shift that I'm on, is this like beautiful like witnessing of holy I was gonna say holy shit, like I'm consumed with desires from my ego that I've forgotten that are not my soul's truth. What does my soul really want? And listening to our soul more often, and just not letting our ego drive so much. Loving our ego and figuring out, how to integrate it into our path and our purpose, through respect and honor, of course, right? But always like attuning, right? This is a huge other part of it. A big part of my being is this attuning to this higher wisdom, attuning to the soul, attuning to this love and infinite higher consciousness and the rules of that plane and that playing field, and noticing the world and the way the world is made and the playing field of the world, and then choosing to disidentify with the ego, choosing to not, it's like those of us who are not really down with all the political things that are happening right now, we are choosing to be more conscious and make different choices, and it's the same thing internally as well. We need to really get clear on like what's going on inside of us, what our motivations are, and where we're coming from. As we go forward in this time, this is a big time of making ourselves actualized in the world, because we have a lot of the planets like moving direct now, and so we're going to move direct with them. And so as we plant these seeds and as we manifest our desires, my question to all of us, and I bring all of you with me to ask ourselves collectively, how identified are we from our ego? Where are we listening to? And can we listen to our souls so that we can be in greater harmony with the whole of the universe? And the biggest amazing thing is, once we show up in the beingness of ourselves, meaning, which sounds very heady and haughty, but it's just like letting go of the control and the manipulation and all of that, feeling like we need to do something, and just be, and just allow being, more can happen through us. I think this is a huge lesson in my life, my own life, is to just allow me to be a channel for grace, and to allow the wisdom of my soul and the guides and the angels and the cosmos to move through me in a way bigger than I can fathom. Because if I'm consumed with manipulating and controlling and trying to create things, as opposed to just asking to be guided and then trusting that I will be, let me say in another way, when we trust that we will be guided and we are deeply connected to Source and deeply, authentically, sincerely connected to Spirit, beautiful things can move through us and we become like a channel of this higher consciousness. And that is my prayer, and that's what we all want. So, aho, namaste, and so it is. In love, light, and warrior spirit, as Marianne Williamson says, may we all walk to God together. May we all walk on this journey together. May we all, inch by inch. That was a huge theme for me. Inch by inch. I'm not there yet. I'm going there with you. And may we all go together. Aho.